Hey mom and dad, friends, haters, and anybody else watching this video. So Halloween is in a couple of days. We are still stuck here, not able to go anywhere because, you know, the Rona. Today we are going to be discussing scary concepts, scary thoughts, if you will. Just things that I think are scary. Concept number one, the ocean. What the hell, y'all? Probably one of my biggest fears is just the ocean and anything regarding water. So I think what scares me about the ocean is that it accounts for 70% of Earth's surface, but only 5% has actually been explored. Think of it this way. We know what's going on in the 5% that has been explored, right? We found like so much life within the 5%. There's like sharks and whales and fish and a whole bunch of stuff going on, you know? So if all of that is going on in 5% of the ocean, what the hell do you think is going on the other 95%? Like, this shit don't get talked about enough. There has to be more life. Like, what if there is a whole world? Like, what if there's like buildings in the other 95%? What if there's buildings? What if there's like a whole ass city in the 95%, but we can't go down there because we'll die? Like, that's another thing that freaks me out is water's strength. Like, if you go down fast enough, you'll implode. If you come up fast enough, you'll implode. Something like that. I know that you'll die. At some point in the ocean, it's just pitch black because no sunlight or any light at all can get down far enough, you know? So it's just pitch black down there. That doesn't scare anybody. Pitch black, water. I'm scared. Also, Marina's Trench. What the shit? What is down there? We don't know. Also, let's talk about whales. Whales are so big, like they can definitely swallow people whole and like not even realize that they swallowed a person whole. And before y'all come at me like, whales don't eat people, whales are nice. Like, yeah, they don't intentionally eat people the same way sharks don't intentionally eat people. Everybody makes mistakes, y'all. We can't expect whales to be perfect. So imagine being fully aware of the fact that you are in an animal's stomach in the ocean. No one's gonna find you. No one is going to think like, let me check a whale's belly. You know how many people go missing in the ocean and they're just deemed as like they drowned? We never found their body. How do we know that they drowned? What if they were swallowed by an animal whole and they were still alive living in an animal's stomach like a whale? I googled this and like no cases were ever like reported that a whale swallowed a person, but at the same time, how would we know that shit? Like, how we wouldn't know that unless we checked a whale and found that a person was in a whale. But how many people go missing in the ocean and we don't know what happened to them? Just because it wasn't ever reported doesn't mean it never happened. I feel like it had to have happened. How can that have never happened in the amount of years that the world has been a thing? Let's talk about space. The size of space, like 93 billion light years. What the hell even is that? As a reminder, a light year is a unit of length equal to just under or about 6 trillion miles. That's a big bitch. I feel the same thing that I feel about the ocean is how I feel about space. We have only discovered a very small portion. We don't know what is over there. There has to be more than just us on Earth. Who knows, like in the undiscovered part of space, what if there are other planets? Again, there could be a city. There could be people like just floating around and shit, chilling, and we don't even know about it. I just feel like as humans, we think that we know everything, or we're like the smartest species or creature, whatever you want to consider us, but we don't know what we don't know. We only know, like, we only explored 5% of the ocean. That means there's 95. That means we don't really know shit. What the is a black hole? What is that shit? Like, what if the black hole is actually a portal to another universe? What if, like, if you go into the black hole, you just go back in time? You, like, restart life from, like, when you were a baby. Okay, so if you go into the black hole, according to Google, you might expect to get crushed or maybe torn to pieces. But the reality is stranger than that. The instant you enter the black hole, reality would split in two. In one, you would be instantly incinerated, and in the other, you would plunge on into the black hole utterly unharmed. But if you're unharmed, what happens? So you just live in blackness? Even the things that we know of, we don't know much about it. So we know about a black hole, but we don't know the details of the black hole, like what exactly would happen to a person, because no one has ever gone into it. This is according to Google. Also, let's discuss gravity. So this is something that I actually think of like pretty often. There's gravity on Earth, and that's what is pulling us down, right? That's the reason why we're not floating. There is gravity in space, just not a whole lot of it, but that's how we're able to orbit the sun instead of just falling. What if somehow, some way, gravity gets stronger in space and we just drop and start falling? Where are we falling to? We would die. Like, it's not like we would ever get to the bottom of anything. Everything on Earth would just start to crumble, and so we would probably get crushed. Also, we would be moving away from the sun, which means it would be freezing cold. We could freeze to death. There's so much writing on this, y'all. Honestly, this shit scares me more than demons. So the sun is a star. Stars explode. So what if the sun explodes? The entire solar system would be destroyed. That's when the sun is supposed to die, is in 5 billion years. The increase in Earth's surface temperature will cause a runaway greenhouse effect, heating the surface enough to melt it. By that point, all life on Earth will be extinct. And then we gotta start this shit all over again. Like, I hate it here. This might be the most mind-blowing, like, fact about space out there. Time dilation effect or some shit like that. 7 years on Earth is 1 hour in space, certain parts of space. If I go to space for an hour, that's 7 years on Earth. So when I come back, everybody will be 7 years older. I will still be 22, but everybody else will be 7 years older. The faster you're moving, the slower time goes for you. So if you were on some planet moving extremely fast through space, like in the movie Interstellar, then yes, you could miss 7 years on Earth every hour. What the hell is a dream? Like, what is that shit? Does it have meaning? Does it not have meaning? Like the way real life and your dream connects together. Wow. And also, as hard as you try to remember the beginning of your dream, you will never be able to remember how a dream started. You remember what you remember, but that's not how the actual dream started. It didn't just start so abruptly. Which brings us to REM sleep. So you go through 3 phases of sleep before you actually get to the REM cycle. So stage 1, your eyes are closed, but it's easy to wake you up. This phase may last 5 to 10 minutes. Stage 2, you are in a light sleep. Your heart rate slows down and your body temperature drops. Stage 3, this is the deep sleep stage, and it's right before you enter REM. REM sleep first occurs about 90 minutes after falling asleep. Your eyes move rapidly from side to side behind your closed eyelids. Most of your dreaming occurs during REM sleep. Your arm and leg muscles become temporarily paralyzed, which prevents you from acting out your dreams. I think the human body in general is just amazing. Your body is doing its own thing, and like you're unaware of it. Like, we don't realize that our eyes start moving rapidly, or that our leg and our arm like paralyzes itself towards the end of your sleep. That's when you gain memory of your dream, because you're starting to wake up, but you don't really remember everything prior to that, like all the dream that you had prior to that, or how it started. So I also took a bunch of screenshots of posts online that had my mind a-going. Your mind can sense when someone is staring at you even when you're asleep. How the hell? And like, that is true. How does your mind do that shit? You can't read in a dream because reading and dreaming are functions of different sides of the brain which don't cooperate while dreaming. So I don't know how true this is. Like I said, these are just posts that I saw. Now that I think about it though, I've never had a dream where I was reading something. A sign, a book, social media. Like, I don't ever remember reading. Let me know if you've had a dream where you were reading and like you can remember seeing the actual words and reading it, because that shit has never happened to me, which is the only part of your reflection you can lick is your tongue. That is weird to think about. Also, you've never actually seen yourself, and the only time you've ever seen yourself is just a reflection. The brain not only named itself, but also recognized that it named itself and was surprised when it realized that. Our brain is insane. Every mirror you buy at stores is in used condition. Touche. How do we get in a car but on a bus? Why do we get on a bus? Why don't we get in the bus the way we get in the car? And let me know what other concepts like you guys have thought about. That ends the video for today. I will be back hopefully maybe next Thursday. Please subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, blah. And yeah, that's all for today. Okay, bye.
So tell me, have you seen her? Let me wrap my weave up. I'm the trap Selena, dame más gasolina.